This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer. I have worked out 3 times a day the last couple days, and I actually did 5 interviews today among a lot of other work. So this is the Wrestling Observer review. It's longer. Let's get into the news. WWE settled a large lawsuit, $39 million they settled for to the Warren City Police and Fire Retirement System, which alleged that WWE executives deceived the investing public regarding WWE's business, where their Saudi Arabia deal artificially inflated their stock. Doing so, they claim senior WWE executives sold more than $280 million worth of shares at fraud-inflated prices. So apparently, according to Dave Meltzer, this $39 million is paid out of WWE's insurance, but it's more than double what they settled with the Owen Hart case for. There was a lot of shady stuff that appeared to go down, according to reports, in Saudi Arabia last year. Hugo Savinovich was on this channel talking about it. He had some inside information. But yeah, they probably wanted that one to go away. Discoveries hasn't even happened yet, which is one of the early stages, and they settled for that large amount. Wow. WWE also let some longtime employees go in the office department today or Friday. There's more talk of the Screen Actors Guild union and trying to get wrestlers to unionize. This has been the latest related to Selena Vega. Sorry, I've never actually seen her wrestle. Or know if she's paid. Let's see how old Selena Vega is. I'm just curious. She's 29 years old. Okay, so she's been around a bit. And she was in TNA before. She started wrestling in 2010. So she has been wrestling for 10 years. So she could go back to wrestling. But for everyone thinking that union would suddenly magically solve this problem, there's good and bad about union, but it's not like unions make stuff go away real fast. I've already said it. I was in a union thing that went on for years and years and years and years. And originally they wanted me to settle for a very small amount and actually not even keep my job, which I ultimately ended up getting back with a much, 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 much larger settlement than the minuscule amount they wanted me to settle for. So unions pressure you to settle. They will often not want to fight for you. Sometimes they're in bed with the employer. So I don't think a union's actually going to solve anything. You can actually get stuff done a lot faster if you have your own good lawyer, employment lawyer. So if WWE was in breach of contract releasing Zelina Vega because she refused to close the Twitch and fan-only accounts as the company mandated, and that was not something they were allowed to do in her contract, which I assume they were allowed to do that, or they wouldn't have just been able to do everything. And those contracts are notarized. I mean, she could sue them personally, and it might actually be faster than going through all the union crap and having to pay union dues and dealing with union rules and so forth. That's just my thoughts on it. WWE is officially moving to Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, right beside Tampa, for all the Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view events starting December 11th. and they could go there into March. They were in the Amway Center, but the Orlando Magic need to get back to practicing there. NXT still runs at the Performance Center, I believe, right now. Apparently, Alexa Bliss got engaged to singer Ryan Cabrera. I don't know much about either one of them. Ryan Cabrera sang the song On the Way Down, which was on the pop charts, I believe, in 2004. I seem to recall that. WWE says they have no plans to allow spectators anytime soon. Undertaker has noted in an interview with the New York Post that his wife doesn't think he's actually retired. He also said in an interview with ESPN that he says never say never. So who knows? I mean, they certainly need stars in WWE to pull interest here and there for the right money. Everyone always seems to think, oh, he's coming back because he loves wrestling so much, which wrestling is fun, by the way, for everyone that feels so bad for these WWE wrestlers when there's people starving in India and people starving all over the world. But these poor wrestlers can't be on Twitch. They have a fun job. They're celebrities. There's a lot of perks to it too. So yeah, I don't want to get into that too much. But yeah, what I was bringing that up for is Undertaker makes millions of dollars to wrestle. So that's part of the reason why he agrees to come back. If you watched any of those documentaries, you can see he lives in a very nice place to basically fake fight at a very slow pace for millions of dollars. I don't feel that bad for him. My dad is I think he's 73 now, and he still works. So, and he walks around just as badly as the Undertaker because he was in the military for years, which is brutal on your knees. He was in the infantry. Sonya Deville received a restraining order against Philip Thomas, who had attempted to kidnap her. Triple H is going to find a way to do yet another show to give NXT talent ring time, since there's no house shows, as if there's not enough wrestling shows these days. Miz and Mrs. beat NXT. They did a 0.17. And God, I think I forgot to write the NXT number down. But I reported on it yesterday. But surprise, surprise, AEW beat NXT again. And SmackDown did a 0.63 last Friday. Raw did a 0.51 this week. Jon Moxley and Renee Young are expecting their first child. In AAA, Lucha Libre news, Mexico City doesn't look like it's going to allow fans for their big Triple Mania show this year. So it'll probably happen in front of no fans, or who knows what they'll do, but it'll still happen before the end of the year. David Silva, who used the name Silvano Souza as a WWE preliminary wrestler in the 70s and 80s, died on November 18th. His last WWE match was in 1987 against One Man Gang in Buffalo, New York. And I am interviewing the One Man Gang Monday at 4 p.m. And he watches this channel. Surprise, surprise. As do a lot of wrestling stars. So I was actually surprised because I wanted to interview the One Man Gang for a long time. Couldn't figure out how to contact him. And when I do contact him, it turns out he watches this channel. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Rob Van Dam is going to be in a movie with Tommy Chong, speaking of 420, called First Combat, that was filmed in San Diego. He did seem to get mad at me when I said he was a former Impact Wrestling star, but I haven't heard of any appearances with him in Impact, and I really hope he does not go back there just because it's so awful and nobody cares about it. I would rather see him even in AEW on a limited schedule. But whatever suits him. I just think they do way, way, way too much comedy stuff in that company, and the Tessa Blanchard fiasco, etc. In UFC news, Dana White says he believes Khabib will actually not retire. Anderson Silva also may not be actually retiring, but it's likely he will not fight in UFC anymore. And if you watch my The Hannibal TV show today on Zingo TV or any of the other platforms, you will see I had an MMA expert on talking about the Anderson Silva situation. I also just posted it on my Devin Nicholson second YouTube channel, which is basically a just live stream channel that I sometimes post custom content on. If you search YouTube, Devin Nicholson, that's my second channel. So if you don't like my news updates or you think there's too many shoot clips, click on that channel. It's just interviews and some custom footage. The PFL has signed Fabricio Verdum, who beat Fedor Emelianenko in 2010 and also is a former UFC heavyweight champion. He defeated Cain Velasquez for that title. So that's the news.